Carmen.
Yes, sir.
Is that all right? Carmen Moses Humes. Carmen.
Yeah.
How you been?
Been pretty good yourself.
I get by. I don't have a good air conditioner, so it's gross in my house.
That's never fun.
No.
I've never afraid of that's a horrible situation to deal with. I've been there a few times. I had to wait and to come out and fix it. Like, you didn't get it done by now?
Right. Well, it just sucks because it's an air conditioner. I don't know. Sometimes it's cooler outside than it is on the inside, and then during the winter, I'm cold. So it's like my house is a good insulation for the opposite of what I want. Anyways.
Yeah. You're down in Pueblo, ain't you?
Yeah. Bessemer.
I'm up in Denver, so you're a lot hotter than me than I get up here.
I don't know how far north are you?
You know where Morrison is, Littleton.
No, I just know the big thing, like
Lakewood.
Colorado
Lakewood.
Springs in relation to like big cities.
Well, I'm about 20 minutes out from Denver.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty similar, to be honest with you. The one big thing I noticed, it seems like sometimes when it rains or snows in Denver, it doesn't rain or snow down here. So.
Nope. And when it does that down there, we don't get nothing up here.
Huh. Well, maybe we're in a whole nother different climate. Anyways. So, yeah, what?
I was gonna say, you gotta love the weather here.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. You can go on and on about the weather. I like that there's no humidity in Colorado. There's a ton of humidity in Kentucky. Anyways, let's get down to brass tacks. So you heard what Donald Trump did. He pulled a reverse Truman. Truman was brave, and he desegregated the military by executive order, saying that blacks and whites could fight side by side. But he's done a reverse Truman, so he's in favor of discrimination, institutionalizing discrimination. So what do you think? What are your thoughts?
So my thoughts for discrimination is honestly, for one, I condemn the heinous acts that he's bringing towards people, but you know, for me, I have to look at it as we have to protect the citizens, so I don't agree with it. I will stand and I have no issue with fighting against him on it.
Yeah, I mean, so you're outraged, you're pissed off. What? Because I guess I got some mad mixed feelings I was wanting to talk to you about. Ultimately, I'm very liberal, so I think people could do as they want to do. But there's concerns. Let's see. Somebody said something about medical bills that would cost too much to do the operation. And then Doug Lamborn, they quoted Doug Lamborn on one of the TV shows. I can't stand this guy, so I mean, it's just I pay attention to what the politicians are saying. But he was saying that it's a mess, and he's very much with Trump's executive order to ban transsexual, transgendered soldiers in the military.
Yeah, I both want to condemn that task force plans. I honestly believe, you know, they put their life on our lines every day. I think they should live their life how they want to live it.
Yeah.
So, we're supposed to be a nation of one. We're not supposed to be out, we're going to discriminate against trans or the LGBTQ or someone's black, white, straight. Who cares what someone is? As long as someone's happy and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Like, my biggest thing is I point out to a couple of my friends earlier on it when he said trans can't serve in the military. Well, trans are people. The same as everyone else. They pay their taxes. They do the same thing that everyone else does on their daily lifestyle. So what makes them different from anyone else?
I agree. I was watching the TV. I forget which which one it was, but they had a veteran. They had a transsexual veteran who fought valiantly and did her job well and was honorably discharged. And so she was basically saying the same thing that you're saying, that if you can get the job done, what does it matter? What your sexuality is, or how you could, what your personal preferences are.
So, mine is that I stand against what Trump has done, and I will make it known, let him know we can't. I'm not gonna lie.
What do you think? What can we do about it? I mean, are we stuck with Trump for the next 3 years? Is there impeachment on the table? And then, as a candidate for governor, can you rescind the order, or is there something you could do for Colorado somehow to undo what Trump is doing?
One, I can't undo what Trump is doing, but I will say this: I will fight for the trans people, men and women. I will not allow that to come in my state, because my state will be protected. So trans are protected in this state.
Okay, I'm gonna push back now a little bit. The Snoop Dogg, he had once said that transsexual people are a scientific experiment, and then there was a South Park episode. And South Park episode was saying, where do you draw the line? If a person feels like they're a dolphin and they go through and transform themselves into being a dolphin, I guess I feel like if you want to be a dolphin, you're allowed to be a dolphin. That's okay, but that would confuse a lot of other people. And then, like the medical part, I think that it should come out of pocket. The transsexual veteran that was on TV said that all of her operations came out of pocket, so it wasn't the American taxpayer or whatever didn't pay for the transition. So what do you think about that?
I mean, for the funding, if they're going to put their life on the line, and then they're paying for the insurance, or they're paying part of the insurance, why can't the insurance pay for it?
I guess they're saying that it's very expensive, so you're putting a very expensive bill on the American taxpayer.
But I mean, they're standing on the front line fighting for us to keep freedom in this country.
Right.
So why can't they have something? If they're risking their life every day, getting shot and killed, why can't they? If that does happen, why can't they be honored and have what they want?
I think they should be honored, but I guess the blurry. It's like you're allowed to be what you want to be, but should I pay for it?
I mean, we're paying for them to be in the military to fight and die.
So if there was let's hypothetically, if there's a soldier that wanted to be a dolphin and they were a good soldier, but they wanted the operation to get a dorsal fin and to get some other dolphin qualities, or I guess that's a shark. Would you be okay with that?
I mean, there's a fine line between that and being a person.
I agree. It's a slippery slope, but I do want to know, where is there a line? Do you draw a line? Because if a person wants to be a dolphin, they're allowed to be one, right? And if they're fighting valiantly for this country, why should we not pay for that operation?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to it. If they want to live their life the way they want to, but I say it's a fine line drawn right at that point. There's a difference between realistic and characteristic.
Yeah, and I guess my argument is that some people say that Bill Nye says that you have XX or XY chromosomes when you are born. So scientifically speaking, there's two genders. So some people would argue that it's realistic and characteristic to change your gender. It's that's a characteristic, not realistic thing.
But I mean, no one knows how everyone was born. And it has been proven facts that men can come out with two X and a Y, just like a woman can, by genetics of birth.
I mean, is that true? I don't know. I mean, tell me more.
It's true. It's been proven fact.
Because, I mean, from what I understand, Bill Nye, like I got references. Maybe you could send me a link to these studies that you're talking about. But Bill Nye made it very clear, and he wasn't trying to make a political point, but just that essentially, you know, I guess there are some people that have two genders or maybe no gender at all. But 90-something%, I think, transgender. They said that here's another thing that should scare the shit out of you, I think, because it's a very small amount of people. There's a very small amount of transsexual people. So I think this is going to affect between 0.1 to 0.5% of the people in the military. And while, you know, I think we should protect our minorities, the people do deserve minority rights, and we should protect their individual rights. But in a democracy, it might be very easy to just dismiss 0.01% of the population.
Yeah, but but other people that are getting dismissed are doing the same thing that we do on a daily lifestyle. They eat to survive. They drink. Now, they wake up every morning, they go to bed, they go to work, they pay their taxes.
Right.
They pay for health insurance. They see a doctor, they get sick. We all bleed the same color. We all shed the same color tears. So what makes the 1% different from the rest of them when we actually technically do all the same daily stuff every day?
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, I guess it's a Rush Limbaugh thing. I started this out by saying Truman desegregated the military. Rush Limbaugh said that black people make up 17% of the population, so they're not the majority. Who cares, is what he says. I disagree with that, but there's a logical sort of strategic, argument there that makes me nervous. Like, that's true. But ultimately, I like to think that there's enough white people, there's enough people in the majority that care about black people or care about transsexual or care about minorities or people who are getting discriminated against.
As me as a transsexual, I don't care what people how they live their lives. If you want to be gay, you're gay. You want to be straight, you're straight. You want to be bisexual or lesbian or you're trans. So when I go home at night, I'm going to do the same thing I do every night. I'm going to bed. And I'm going to wake up in the morning. And my daily lifestyle is going to be 10 times different from anyone else's.
So is it your position that everybody can turn into dolphins if they wanted to, and the government would have to pay for it?
Oh. That's what I'm saying. There's a fine line there.
Well, just where's your line?
Changing, transitioning from one sex to another is one thing.
Right.
When you're trying to change into something that's not realistic in real life, going from a man to a woman, there's women everywhere. It's realistic.
Do you have a line?
Running around everywhere. It's realistic.
What I'm asking you is...
You don't see a dolphin or a mermaid running around on land, do you?
There's some people. There's people that do Barbies. They get like really small. I've never seen a dolphin, no, but I guess I want to know where your line is. Where is your line? Because if you're in favor of a society, we could all just become, bear cubs or something. I want fur. I really want fur, and so I'm going to get a medical operation. I don't know. I guess there's a priority thing. There's people with like diseases, and there's a hepatitis outbreak here in Pueblo, and we don't have medical insurance for basic needs for everybody. And here we're talking about extra, operations to. I just want to know where your line is. Do you have a line?
I mean, my line would be if you cannot afford it in the military, then I think the military should be able to help fund it because they're putting their lives on line. But
for the dolphin or the transsexual thing?
The transsexual point.
So would you disagree with dolphin, or are you still on board with? Is it okay? Because what you're saying, what I'm understanding you're saying is essentially it's your life, and if you're a good citizen, you do your job, you pay your taxes, you don't bother anybody, then the government should pay for any medical operation that you feel like they should give you.
Now that one I won't agree on. For that one, I can't. That's where my line's wrong. Once we get out of human relations, like the human society, and try to move into something that's not part of our civil rights and not part of the humanitarian of our world. I mean, that's why I will stand up and protect people who are going from male to female and female to male. But I have to draw the line when you want to go to some kind of animal. I mean, if you do it, hey, it's coming out of your pocket, because we're not going to force it up something that's actually a sensitive that's not irrelevant to a lot of things. When transsexuals and transgenders, most of them still, they're born in the wrong body. They should have the right to move over to that. No one wakes up and say, hey, I feel like I should have been born a dog.
I feel like a bear is my spirit animal.
You're a spirit animal, but you didn't wake up one morning. I mean, you didn't think from the kid. You didn't dress up as a bear all your life.
No, but
most of these people who are transsexual either are scared to say it, or who is openly and doesn't give a fuck. Excuse my language, don't give a crap. And has been dressing up most of their life because that's what they feel that they should have been when they were born.
Yeah, you're gonna have to keep talking about this, and I think you're gonna have to wear the banner of fighting for transsexual rights. I think whether you want to or not.
After today, I mentioned you when I very first talked to you. I wasn't an advocate for the trans or the LGBTQ, but it seems to be every day that I continue to run for governor and I can hear more stuff, I am being forced to be there to protect people.
I mean, being a Democrat, I would think that you would want to be in favor anyways. I was very frustrated. I grew up, or I was in college, and two of my roommates were gay men, and one was a Republican, and it was very frustrating because here I'm like with a party that would let him be who he is, but he only cared about his money, so he was like, it's okay that, my political party basically discriminates everybody just like me, but that's okay, It just, it sucks, because it's like, God, if I'm going to fight for his rights and his freedoms, and then he's just going to turn right around and screw over poor people.
Yeah. I mean, I've been standing for everyone, but I mean, that's why I said I wasn't an advocate for the trans or the LGBTQ. I'm an advocate for the people. I don't care if you're straight or part of the LGBTQ. I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, pink, whatever color you are.
Now, wait a second. If you saw a green person, you wouldn't think something was up with that?
I'd probably say, what the hell, but
What if I grew up feeling like I was a green person? Could I get a green, dye my skin green?
I mean, there's always tattoos for that one. But I mean...
Nay, I hear ya. I guess, I don't know, I see the problem with identity politics, but it's just discrimination. I felt like gay rights, it just seemed like, I grew up Catholic, and so actually, I'm 35 now, but when I was 18, I went to college. I was very much, pro the Catholic position, and I was like, it's not natural, and I just went on and on about how horrible it was, and then eventually some guy came up to me and he goes, well, I think two consenting adults should be allowed to do what they want in the privacy of their own home. And I thought about it, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. No one ever told me about it, and so I thought about it, and I slept on it that night, and then the next day, I quit discriminating. So, I think about that sort of, it's just, it's our civil rights. It's our Civil Rights Act. And anytime you have a minority group of people that's being, picked on, and for what? For what? Just being, essentially how God made them.
Yeah. But I'll tell you like this. I can say this, and I've seen it because of as many people as I talk to. Probably 1 out of every 10 transsexuals actually go through surgery.
Huh.
I can tell you I'm on one of the trans groups, and I talked to quite a few of them, and a lot of them are scared to go through the pain and to deal with it. So they rather just keep the bottom part and live their life as a woman, or the same way as a female for guy. And they have their breast removed, but not getting the surgery that costs the most is the bottom, always the bottom part.
Right. How do you feel about that?
People don't want to go through it because that's a major surgery.
And how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's a tragedy, or do you think they can live their existence as a transsexual by keeping their genitals?
Honestly, for me, I look at that and say, well, if you wanted that, I mean, you can live your life the way you want to, but I mean, I'd consider, why don't you just dress up? Because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just dressing up, so technically you're a transgender.
Right.
You dress up for fun.
Yeah.
Or you dress up because that's how you like to dress. But I mean, there's a situation that we have to follow. I think that you put in harsher places for transsexuals to get them to understand the lifestyle that they're going to live. Just because you feel like that, but you need to go through therapy before you start on hormones. You need to go through a lot of therapy to make sure that you're ready for the process for it.
Yeah.
So there's situations that our government and our health care providers and everyone needs to focus on to make sure that trans guys and women understand everything along that nature, what comes with it, the side effects of hormones. You need to live your life as a woman or a guy for 1 year before you can even start on hormones. Get your letter. That goes through. I see a doctor every 3 months or every month. How many times the doctor wants to see you? I mean, you got to have 2 letters. You got to have your bottom surgery done.
I hear you, and this is all pretty interesting, but I guess it's still, I don't know, I still keep going back to, like with gay people, I believe 100% gay people can do as they want to do, 2 consenting adults. And I know that dolphin thing that's hyperbole, that's me going to the extreme, but I guess you got to speak up, Carmen, you got to tell everybody what's going on, because I am, a pretty big liberal, and here I feel a little uncomfortable about transsexual because it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense, like that. I don't know. It does make sense, but it doesn't make sense. So we're at what point is it what we're doing is human versus what we're doing is turning into dolphins? And so I wish I could just. I think that hopefully you'll post some links or something, or just keep on talking about this, and we'll keep on having conversations so I understand it, because I feel nervous about it. It doesn't make any sense to me to tear up your genitalia, of which you're allowed to do it. I think you're allowed to do it. Live your life. If you want to be a dolphin, I think that'd be okay too. But I don't know if we should be paying for all these operations when there's 50 million or something Americans that don't even have health insurance. And so, man, I think, ma'am, I think that's basically, I want to feel comfortable. I want to believe what you're saying to me, but it just seems very, it seems, it seems borderline, it's not, you're not changing into a dolphin, and I understand what you're saying about the female thing. But is it possible that, a male could just feel feminine and a female could feel like a male, and without changing their genitalia? Can you feel like something without changing the outside? I don't know, man. I'm just kind of rambling.
That's what I say. That's what transgenders and crossdressers. I mean, a lot of them, they feel that way, but they will never take the steps to become a transsexual. So it's easier for them to live their life and dress up when they want to.
That makes sense to me. Like, I feel like cross-dressing. Before, I guess I always thought transsexual was just cross-dressing, and I was like, that's fine. If, men want to dress like women, women want to dress like men, that's cool. But then when it's like, even Bradley Manning or Chelsea Manning, like I don't know. I mean, I'm all about what she did, about her, contribution to. I think she told the truth. She stood up against the military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I mean, what if you feel different? You feel like an effeminate man, and then you go down this route, of physically changing yourself. And then that only makes you more isolated, and it alienates you even more, because that's something, that's, I don't know, I guess make me understand how, you feel in your heart that it's stronger than what you were actually born with.
Okay, so here, I'll tell you why I'm transitioning.
Yeah.
And then you can give me a preference on that.
Okay.
So I was supposed to be born a female. I was born with twins. So it was me, and I had my sister. She came out first. She died. I came out last, and I survived.
Yeah.
And when you have that bond together, knowing that I was supposed to send a woman first, and I put a lot of the genetics on my sister. When she passed off, our umbilical cords were still connected. So we were still at one.
Right.
So, a lot of the genetics I got from her, of my sister, is why I feel the way I do. So I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I wanted to be a trans. I've known that for all my life, that I was supposed to be a woman. So that's why I think I should be a better woman, because I have the characteristics and everything of a woman.
No, I guess
I've had for all my life, but
you say you've always felt like you were a woman, but you were born with a penis and testicles, right?
So for me, the way I feel inside is I've always felt like a woman.
Right.
For me, that put me as I was a woman on the inside, but outside I was born a different gender. And for me, I'm uncomfortable with the outside. That's why I'm changing, because I feel that's unfit for me.
Do you do you think it would help with would you feel more secure as a fully transitioned woman?
Yes.
How far are you with the transition right now?
I've been transitioning for 10 years. I've been on 3 different medications, or 3 types of different medications, because I had my body rejected some of them. Now I am on to my transition on hormones has been 5 years. With some on, I had to take a year off, get back on a different set of hormones, take another year off now. Another time on, and I have to take another year off now. Back on them. I'm hitting at my almost 5 months back on hormones. But I mean, honestly, from my point, I'm paying for everything out of my pocket. My bottom surgery, I pay for my hormones. I pay for my electrolysis and laser hair removal. Everything comes out of my pocket.
When do you expect to be finished?
I'll be fully transitioned before I take office next year if I win.
Is there a date? Do you have a date in mind, or is it just when it happens when it happens?
I'm actually going for the end of May or the middle of June is when I'm pushing for my bottom surgery.
Have you got much? You said you had an event in June, so I'm wondering, has anybody been asking about, transgendered issues or your candidacy for governor?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure the more time goes on, it will come out.
Do you have transgendered groups that you talk to, or do you have transgendered friends you keep in touch with?
I have a lot of transsexual friends, transgender friends, friends.
Right.
I have transsexual, I know guys and girls. I'm in a lot of group chats on Facebook because people have a lot of questions.
Because, I mean, that's...
I give feedback to a lot of transsexuals, and I'm very supportive of transsexuals. I'm there to answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm kind of calling for, because it makes me feel a little bit nervous. And, I mean, I think be gay all you want. I think that's perfectly fine. It just, when it comes to, like, cutting stuff, I just... You said you feel like a woman, and, you know, I'll believe you, but it's possible you could feel like a bear, or you could feel like a green person too. So I guess where is that line? I don't know.
That line, you don't see humans. You see humans walking around. Doesn't matter if I have fully transitioned from female to male or male to female. I'm still a human in the end.
Right.
You don't see a bear. You don't see a bear working in a grocery store, do you? You see a bear paying the taxes?
No. I agree that you're not changing species, but you're cutting your dick off and you're putting a vagina in its place. And that, do you see that happen? Like, that doesn't happen in nature. That doesn't happen. That's a little weird. It's a little weird.
But I mean, if someone really and truly believes, like me, that they're supposed to be a woman,
right?
Then there's that line where you're gonna go process, you're gonna get it done, and you're gonna become a full woman. That's how you know you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. I mean, all more power to you. If it empowers you and it makes you feel good, like I'm in favor of that. I guess the part that I'm struggling with is whether we as a public should be paying for the operation.
But I mean, there's a difference between saying that, hey, a man walks off the street and says I'm transsexual. I want the public to pay for it. I'm gonna look at you and say, I'm practically gonna say, I'm gonna laugh at you and say, you have health insurance you're paying for it? I mean, you paying for insurance is different story. I will back insurance for paying for it, because people who pay $200 and $300 a month for years in and want to use that kind of service, then hey, it's there because you're paying for it anyway.
Right.
I mean, as a serviceman, I mean, if they want to go through the full transition, I feel that, you know, well, I actually use, because my tax money goes towards it anyway. If someone that goes out there and do something I will not do, and go out to overseas, the Middle East, or go wherever the military tells them to do, and say, you may die today.
Well, tell me more, I guess, about how you said you felt like. How old are you right now?
How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 30.
30. Okay, so for 30 years you felt like a woman. For 20 years you had to live in a male body, even though you knew you were a woman, and then you began your transition. So I guess talk more about like different instances, like in your childhood or just throughout your life. Like how have you felt like a woman?
I mean, when I was a kid, you know, I would play with Barbie stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So women stuff, like they color and draw, and I know some men do that, but, you know, more women are into that kind of thing. It's their girls are into that. I noticed, and my family already knew about me when I was 5 years old, but I ran out in the living room with my clothes on, a dress, bra, stuff on the top. I mean, when the kid does that, you kind of already know.
I don't know, man. I actually go back and forth, because I think with kids it's not so much about being one thing or another. It's just about sort of experimenting and trying different things. I was at this camp. Go ahead.
But for me, when I was growing up, when people always called me Kim, I said, no, it's ma'am.
Right.
Or her.
So
And I always corrected people with that. And I mean, I was doing that at 6 years old when I physically started doing that. I was 6 years old telling people, no, it's her.
Here's something that you might be able to appreciate. I feel like that this super machismo bullshit, I can't stand it, and I think that's sort of some man shit that comes along with the thing. And I feel like as a man, like for instance, I'm not allowed to express emotion. There's this one guy. Someone made fun of his picture on Facebook. It was my roommate, and it said, "You're not smiling," and he said, "Smiling is gay." And then I thought about that, and I was like, God, homophobia prevents men from smiling for for fear of being perceived of being a certain way. So as a man, I can't smile. What if I enjoy the moment? What if I have a nice breeze, come across my face? What if I see, like you can't smile and you can't talk about emotion? So I feel like there's a lot of bullshit, man bullshit, and I think that men should be nicer to each other, and they should care for each other. I don't want to say softer, but kind of like be tough, have a tough exterior for a soft, inside, something like that. So have emotions, be a human. Don't give up your humanity. But you can still keep your manhood at the same time. I think it makes manhood a better thing by acknowledging that you do have emotions.
That's just like saying a man if he cries, that he's gay too.
Right, exactly. Or carrying an umbrella, or wearing sandals.
Yeah, I mean, you show me one man that's never cried in his life, and I'll tell you he's gay.
Well, what does an umbrella have to do with your sexuality? What is sandals?
That's the point I was making, because it's irrelevant. Just because a man smiles doesn't make him gay. It's irrelevant for someone that thinks that kind of logic.
Well, I think it's just that man shit. It prevents us from having meaningful relationships or having meaningful conversations, or if we can't, are we allowed to hug one another? What if we shake hands? I mean, hell, that's touching, right? One thing could lead to a next. So because of and then I think love is fluid. There was actually one experiment that report in 1999 that said that the people who were turned on by gay porn the most were homophobes. So they're more they're gayer than everybody else out here. If they're being a homophobe, that means they're gay, so it's kind of like they're telling on themselves for one thing, but then they're also kind of destroying, meaningful relationships, emotions, a lot of things all around them, and that's, I don't know, maybe it's their dad or something, but,
I've actually questioned a homophobe before. I asked them, are you so much a homophobe that you hate gay people because are you scared to come out of the closet?
Yeah, I think so, man. That's how I don't even have to ask them, because they'll deny it. But I guess it come from personal experience. Being Catholic, when I went to college, the reason why I was like so adamant about my dislike of gay people was because I didn't want anybody to think that of me. So it had nothing to do with me actually disliking them. It was just that I didn't want anyone to think that of me, and so it was just a sort of a social, political kind of cover, and so that's sort of that's what I think that a lot of homophobic men are doing right now. They're just covering up their, and I think it sucks too, because you can have, fairly platonic relationships. You could love your friend, your male friend. You could love your son. You could love your father. There's lots of men you could love without wanting to see them naked. You don't have to. But I don't know if men understand that. I don't know if men have different variants, and so a lot of the man shit pisses me off. So I do. I guess yeah. Go ahead.
So you know how bikers can be, right?
Bikers, yeah.
So one of my best friends is a biker. He's cool with me. He has no issues with me and how I am. He's a straight guy. He has no issues with gay people or bisexual or anything like that. But it's funny is because he has no issues. He walks around, he'll tell you, I'm not going to give you handshakes. I hug people.
Yeah.
And he's a straight guy. He's full straight.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. That's great. I mean, that means he allows human connections, bonds to be created.
But I mean, I know I met him, I think last year, and then kind of really good friends. You know, I thought, you know, him being a biker, most of them does. They have issues with being trans and, you know, all this. And I come to find out, him and all of his friends that he hang out with, you know, they've even said, you know, you have any issues with anybody or they have issues with you, you tell them to come to me. That's what he does. That's what he tells me all the time. I'm like, that's, I mean, I told him, I said, that's not the point anyway. I said, I don't need no one trying to fight my battles for me, because in the end of it, I'm going to fight my own battles, because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's good to have allies, and then it's good to have allies, and then it's also good that I trust that man. I mean, you said he's a straight man who hugs. Good.
Yeah.
We need more straight men who hug, because, you know, these damn fascist assholes, people that can hurt somebody without feeling any remorse for it, without any empathy. That's the clinical definition of a psychopath, and we're living in a society right now that's being run by psychopaths. So if we can get more men with a heartbeat, get more men with emotions, get more men that can hug, I think that would make our society better.
So I'm going to back up, because I want to point something out. So Trump, with keeping transsexuals out of the military, all forces, right?
Yeah.
Just because of the hormones and or the cost of it. Okay, there's an appropriate way to deal with that. I mean, just because they identify themselves as a woman or a guy, doesn't give you the right to keep them out of something. Okay, say, you know, we may pay for this much or a quarter of it, or something like that, or we may not pay for it at all. Not saying, hey, we're going to keep you out because you're trans.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was my caveat, was sort of whether or not the public should pay for it. They absolutely can be transgendered. I think what Trump is doing is saying, no, you can't be transgendered. You cannot, you know, cross-dress. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're gone. You're banned for good.
That's my contention, and he wants to throw in other issues of why. The issues of money being spent, of the cost of hormones or surgery is irrelevant, because you're not kicking them out for that. You're kicking them out because they're trans.
Right, so they're different, and he doesn't understand their differences, and it's discrimination. So I think that's what it is. It's the same reason why they hated blacks. It's the same reason why they hated gay folks. And that's why I think it's so important for, you know, transsexual people to speak up, because I really want to understand this, and I don't. I mean, fuck Trump and fuck his discrimination against transsexual people, and I still want to understand. You know, you said you grew up about feeling like a woman. You're into Barbie dolls, and that stuff's interesting. I mean, I want to know about that, and then that makes me understand you better, and then that, you know, reduces the fear and apprehension of not understanding the other, and then the more that we can break those barriers down, then the less discrimination we'll have.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I wouldn't even play in dirt.
I love playing in the dirt.
Dirty.
Dirt, yeah, dirt is pretty dirty. It's probably why they call it dirt.
Yeah, you know, boys back in the day, they used to love getting in the dirt.
Yeah, I loved it. I played in the mud clods for like hours. Just you could turn a mud clod into anything. It could be a person, it could be a car, it could be anyways.
But I mean, you know, that's how I grew up. But
yeah, no, I think that's what I need to hear. I think that's what Trump needs to hear, but they're not listening. On the other hand, I'm listening, and so I want to accommodate, you know, as much as I can, people that are the way that they are.
I'm not sure about now, because I know it's probably the numbers are going up for it. But last time I checked, that I can actually find on the internet, I'm the third person to be a trans to run for the office.
Nice. In all of America or all the world?
Yeah, all of America.
That's some good stuff, man. You ever write any of this stuff down? Because I'm working on this website, and if you I don't mind. I'm changing. I'm not really getting much attention doing the things that doing the things the way that I'm doing. So I'm trying to evolve and change my setup. But the website, it'd be real easy. Like if you just shot me a paragraph, here's what I think about this, and then I could put it right up on the website immediately. With this, I'll put this up on YouTube, but on the website, I'll probably just clip out one or two quotes and just say, Carmen says this, and then invite people to go watch the video if they wanted to listen to the full conversation.
Yeah.
So just for
I have no issues with doing that either.
just for future heads up. It's not you, it's me. It's I'm evolving. I'm just evolving. So I think that I have some stuff in Facebook and some things in YouTube. I just got all these different pieces all over the place. But with the website now, I got one central location to put everything. And so I'm just trying to figure the flow of that out. And I'm not making any money doing any of this. So until I can figure out how to get a business model connected to this thing, I'm doing all this on my own good graces.
Yeah. I mean, have you thought about trying to connect with one another about maybe the news stations and
eventually
or like interviews that you do that you have like me with a personal connection that you have my cell phone so you can ask questions and kind of pops up.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I could actually get one of the news stations to give me a camera crew, I would be so much more effective. I mean, right now I'm just a guy with a camera, so if I was to confront, a corrupt mayor or something, I would just be holding the camera by my head like a weirdo, just be like, where were you on the night? And then I could get beat up, and then they could take my camera, and then I wouldn't have any evidence whatsoever, and I would just be sitting in jail, just being like, what the hell? But if I had a camera crew, with a satellite thing, so it's running the whole time, and no matter what happens, I know that it's going to get on the air. And I'm just asking questions. I wouldn't be like disrespectful or rude. God, man, I think I could really change some things. But being a radical, I don't know.
You do pretty good at that. You know all the right questions to ask.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just actually trying to figure this shit out myself, so I'm just asking, I guess, what I'm curious about. That makes it more personable. Did you hear about what's his name dropping out?
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. I didn't really pay much attention. I just heard he was dropping out. I said, okay, that's one less thing to worry about now.
Right. Did you hear about Polis? Jared Polis jumping in?
Yeah, I heard about him jumping in.
You got any comments about either one of that? Was it Ed Perlmutter and Jared Polis?
No, yeah, I'm starting my research up on him right now.
Oh, yeah.
I actually haven't. I have a few people that's working with me and pulling researches for me. They're looking to see about it. But I've been busy with work and kind of my own personal life on top of this, and then they tell me this pieces here and there. I'm like, okay, whatever.
do you know when the primary is going to be?
Primaries will be in March.
Okay. I assume it's springtime.
I'm not going for my. I'm not doing 1,500 signatures per district.
Right.
I ain't gonna go through that headache, so I'm going straight in to get my 30 votes. And I feel pretty comfortable. I know I can get my because the way I think.
Yeah, I think that'd be easy.
I feel pretty comfortable walking away with my 30 votes in the primary. So.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
I'm not stressing out about it because one way or another, I'm taking that office. That's how I look at it.
That's cool. That's a good way to be. There's a city council race right now in Pueblo, so I feel like I'm going to be mostly focused here on, my town right here. But once that lets up, then it'll be the governor's race and the state houses, and I think they're all up.
Year, once I get my primary, I'm gonna hit it 10 times harder than what I'm actually hitting it now. But I mean, actually, probably before primaries, I'll get it 10 times harder so I can make sure I get primaries. But next year is when I'll be actually traveling to different cities and talking and everything, holding my campaigns and everything, and even the loyal small towns that don't have many people in them all, I'm still going to get it a lot of places.
Yeah, it's hard to get your name out there. I worked on a bunch of independent campaigns, and it's weird because it's like the media. I think the media is dumb. I don't think they really do very good with investigative or in-depth coverage. So they just want the surface sort of superficial, story, but they don't actually delve into it enough. So the media,
I think is what's going to keep the attention from me out there. It isn't the fact that I'm running for governor. It's that the whole key fact that the press is going to use from me is I'm a transsexual running for office. I'm a transsexual. That is going to be the whole test why I'm being followed by them. I don't think they're really going to focus on me actually running and caring what I actually have to say. They're just going to pinpoint one thing out and leave it at that.
Well, that's a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
So as much as they could try to dismiss you because of that, but then that could also elevate you too.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say is that I just don't feel like what the media is supposed to do is give the public the information that they need to know in order to make the proper decisions. Well, the media is not doing that. They're a business, so they just get the superficial sort of sensational stories. And then once they got, if it bleeds, it leads. If it's gory, it's a story. So, some poor guy shot his poor wife. And that's the thing that leads the news, even though in terms of policy, in terms of affecting all of our lives, it's it's not as significant as, say, like the city council race.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know there's a city council race going on in Pueblo right now unless you were an avid reader or a political junkie.
I know a lot of things that are going on right now. I'm not really paying attention to a lot of.
Well, I think that's the media's fault. You can reach out and research it. And yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
City council, I'm not really too worried about. Maybe a mayor.
Well, we don't actually have a mayor here. We got a city manager, but we were trying to turn it into a mayor's situation. I don't know. I think we can affect a lot more change at a local level than we can with state and national. My point is just the media. This is the city council race. Okay, you don't live in Pueblo, so yeah, it wouldn't matter to you because it doesn't affect you whatsoever. But the people in Pueblo, we should be talking about this. We should be informed about this, but the media isn't talking about it. And so I feel like that's something that the public should know, but the media doesn't do it because they're not trying to inform the public. They're just trying to get this little story or that little story, drive traffic to their website, sell more advertisements. And that's it. That's all they're trying to do. Sell our advertisements, get some money, and then go home.
Pretty much what they are.
Well, fuck the media! Okay, I guess that's...
Some people, like, I'll say CNN, are really good. They like to dig deep into the story. But you got some of these local level news companies, it's just like... I hate to have to repeat what he says because I can't really stand him. It's fake news.
Yeah.
Because in the end of it, you're not putting the whole story in there.
Right. Or even much anything. I think they just gloss right over it. So I think that's going to be your biggest issue. Isn't so much one or the other. I think you're going to be ignored. And so if you can use the transgender thing to get people to talk to you and then try to transition them into different policy ideas. So you talk about the transgendered issue, but then also say, but, I also think this, A, B, and C is important too. So I think you should print that up in your little rag.
Yeah. I have my little hidden secrets that I'm going to draw them in with.
That's good. All right, man.
I'm going to laugh at it, but if it works, it's going to work.
Hey, I got when you make public appearances, Have you started being fully transitioned? Do you wear female clothes, or how do you? When you go out in public, what do you look like?
When I go out in public, depends on my mood, but mostly I go out as a woman.
Do you have a wig or long hair, and do you do makeup and high heels? And
I don't do too much high heels because they get comfortable after a while, and I'm busy. I'm really, at that point, I'm cranky.
yeah,
So I put them uncomfortable. I put on what fits me.
they are uncomfortable.
Hey, if it's a nice pair of dress shoes or a nice pair of tennis shoes with a decent pair of khakis that doesn't throw it off and a nice t-shirt, I'm going to wear what's going to make me comfortable.
Right.
I mean, I have no issues wearing a nice ass pair of blue jeans, some tennis shoes, and a polo shirt.
While that's cool. Do you ever just go all out and just be like fabulous and fierce and whatever?
But I mean, for me, I wear makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, I do my makeup. I don't have wigs. I let my hair grow out. I'm actually going to look at it because I think one of my friends said, you should invest in a couple of these. So we went down to Express and I seen a couple suits and a couple dresses that I could wear to events.
Yeah.
So, those, if I wear a dress, I'm putting on heels. I may be cranky at the end of it, but...
No, that's fun, man, because I feel like as a male, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, change the color of my tie? That's as much a variety, that I get. But you get to dress, put a dress on, put suits on. You got, like, the best of both worlds.
Oh, yeah.
And probably the worst of both worlds, too. So it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse.
I mean, like, honestly, I get my nails done.
Bernie Mac used to get his nails done, too.
I don't think his look like mine, though.
He used to get
it. Acrylic up on his nails with paint and glitter on them.
I agree, but I never got my nails done at all, so I thought it was,
But I mean, I like to look at my occurrences as one of the standout things.
Pedicure.
If I'm going out, I'm going to wear one piece. I'm not going to show up with some holy ass blue jeans and some raggedy tennis shoes and just a t-shirt. Because one, that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
About a person. Now, guarantee you some of my pants, I like it like that. But I mean, I'm not going to wear them out to a public event where I'm trying to get people to vote for me.
I gotcha. Well, I've been talking to you for about an hour. I don't know if if we've exhausted this or not. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
You kind of got to learn a lot more about me.
Yeah, no, I like the personal stuff. I mean, I was wanting some good quotable thing like, damn Trump, and I hope he goes to hell. I hope he eats shit and die, or something. Some quotable thing about how, you don't like Trump and you don't like his.
You want Dad to call him a coward?
Well,
a coward for discrimination.
You think he's a coward?
Yep, it takes a coward to discriminate. It takes a real man, as he's a guy, it takes a real man to do his job correctly and fight for citizens of America, not a pinpoint for one gender out.
So you're saying Trump basically is admitting that he's not a real man?
Yep. It takes a coward to scoot down to judge someone, and then it takes a real man to step up and say, we have to focus on the real shit.
God, that's good stuff. Actually, that makes me think about domestic violence. They always said that the thing that scares a wife beater and a child beater is another man.
I mean, like for me, it's funny how when people say that women, they're acting some women stronger than men. They can do the same damage as men, or worse.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it should go both ways, but just there's a lot of men that are willing to hurt people that are less than them that's not as strong or whatever. But then when it comes to another man, then all of a sudden they're fucking wimps.
Yeah.
So that's what it sounds like with Trump.
I look at a lot of things as stereotypes.
It is a little bit, but I feel like you're saying he's not a real man. So do you want to define what a real man is?
The reason I say it is because a real man wouldn't have this, doesn't worry about little things like that. Oh, you're trans, let's keep you out of something. Or you're trans, so you can't be here. You know, he wants to be president. He needs to grow a set of balls and actually do his job. We need to fight for our economy. We need to fight for jobs. We need to fight for higher pay. We need to fight for health care. We need to fight for our infrastructure. There's so much shit to focus on instead of this petty bullshit that's irrelevant.
No, I mean, man thing, because I think a real man is the man that beats up his life, who shows strength. The one who's physically stronger than them, but they can they feel less of a man if they feel the need to discriminate or.
This is like and I'll say it too. This is like a bigger man beating up a little scrawny man that can't fight and protect himself. I ain't gonna call you a real man, so you ain't.
Yeah, I mean that's a bully. It's someone who picks on someone that's smaller than them. I can't stand that.
And then that's how I look at Trump. He's bullying the trans.
He is.
That's what I said. He's not a man.
Right. He's picking on it's 1.1% of the population, so he don't think that it'll be bad, but he's not a man. I mean, think about this. Makes me appreciate Obama. I was 50-50 on Obama, but this makes me appreciate Obama so much more because he took a very courageous, strong stance on this, and he basically says if you feel, if you're born one way but feel the other, that's the bathroom you use. And so, looking back on it, that was pretty courageous.
I mean, when Obama first got in, I said, this ain't gonna work out. Or we're doomed. But he actually came out to be a lot better president than Trump would ever be in his entire life.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
I may not agree with the help Obamacare,
yeah.
But at least it did its job.
Yeah, I don't. I like the office of the presidency felt more respectable under Obama.
Yeah. I respect that man for what he did for so many people and so many things. He didn't just stick up for trans or the gay community. He stuck up for women. He also stuck up for everybody.
Right.
He may pinpointed some, but people like that are going to pinpoint. At some point, they want to pinpoint something. He
evolved. Obama wasn't even for gay people, and then in the middle of his tenure, he evolved, and then he became pro-gay, and then he became, pro-transgendered. So I think that's an impressive evolution, and now we got Trump de-evolving or regressing us back to the, I guess, when we were chimpanzees. Or
I said, well, movement of our country is gone. We went from the 2000th century back down to the 1980s.
Yeah.
I remember phrasing the 1940s. There's Trump's now.
Yeah, it feels like a long-ass nightmare that just doesn't end, and then we got 3 more years of this bullshit, so I'm not, I don't know how I feel.
I've heard a lot of people trying to really, if the options on the table to get him impeached before the end of the year's over with, so...
Yeah, I'm in favor of impeachment. I think he should be impeached for war crimes, though, not for that Russia bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think he is a good president that this country needs right now.
And I think impeachment would be exciting, and then that would, inspire people, and I think we would be able to, once we throw Trump out, then we could create the America we want.
Yeah. But, I pointed out to one of my friends today, he said, I've noticed in my lifetime of watching the presidency, I've never seen so much riots and so much people starting walks and everything like that.